Hello and welcome to the show. Now, I have had enough experience over the years when it comes to property to say it doesn't always go to plan.
Yes, there are highs and lows and loads in between.
But it's so worth it when your plans do all come together. So why not try your luck at auction?
Waiting in the wings, we have 3 properties ripe for transformation.
I can't wait to find out how the new owners got on with their new buys.
Let's find out and take a look at what's coming up on today's show. In the West Midlands, Dion finds diddly squat in this house.
When I mean nothing, there's nothing.
Whereas in a Kent property, there's nothing Tommy would do with its layout.
No need to change that. Save a nice few quid.
And in Tyne and Wear, Martel sees nothing wrong with some aspects of this house.
You have a really nice view out front and a really nice view out back. What's not to like?
All of these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Thank you very much.
9 miles northwest of Birmingham is the West Midlands town of Walsall. And it was here back in 2018 where Dion first saw a semi-detached property.
And here is the house. It's got 3 bedrooms and a guide price of, wait for it, in excess of £20,000. 20 grand for that. Anyway, you get off-street parking. The curb's not been dropped, so get that curb dropped, bang your car on there, sort out your front garden. What a start.
But of course, you can't go dropping curbs without permission from the local authority.
OK, right. Everything sort of feels like it's been here from day dot. I'm looking at these coat hooks there. They haven't moved for a while. The banister. And as you come into here, the first reception room, you've got what looks like original wallpaper. It's not a bad size front room, actually. You could do some new windows, definitely, and some new curtains. Then you've got a fireplace over here, which looks like it's seen better days. I'd want to get this out, create some more space. But you've got a good size first reception room, and then you come into this room here, where I'm taking a guess, this was the kitchen. You'd never know, because there's nothing in here now, but it's not a bad size at all. In here, we have got possibly the bathroom, maybe, downstairs bathroom, and round this corner, we've got, let's have a look. OK, downstairs toilet, which is really good. I would definitely keep that toilet. It needs a bit of work downstairs, but you've got this space here, you've got that space as well. Knock that wall down, get some support in, create a nice, modern kitchen dining area. And you know what? They've done you a favour having nothing in here at all. When I mean nothing, there's nothing.
Without a usable kitchen or bathroom, a property is termed as uninhabitable, which makes it difficult to secure a mortgage from a lender. So an auction lot like this one would usually only appeal to cash buyers.
OK, then, we have got the 3 bedrooms with no bathroom. Nothing else but 3 empty rooms up here. You know what? They're not bad sizes at all. These 2 are decent-sized bedrooms looking onto the back garden, and this is the master, the biggest of the 3. This is definitely a blank canvas, this house. It needs new windows, most definitely. There's no central heating anywhere, so you've got to put some heating in here. It needs a rewire, hasn't been touched in years. So there's a few major things that need to be done and necessities that need to be done as well. But necessity for me is a bathroom upstairs near the bedrooms. Do you use the pink bedroom and create a bathroom? That's what I would do, because I'd be happy with 2 bedrooms. Let me get my thinking cap on.
With that pink bedroom being above the kitchen, it looked possible to link the existing plumbing. But Dion had a better idea. He reckoned that if you partitioned off the main bedroom and created the bathroom in here, this would allow you to keep the 3 bedrooms.
And you get yourself a decent back garden as well. It's completely overgrown, hasn't been touched in a while. I can just squeeze by, up this step. And you know what? It's quite wide as well. There's a lot of space out here. You can't see the boundaries because everything's completely overgrown. You've got one greenhouse there, 2 greenhouses there, grow your veg for the main course. And when you had your main course, get yourself over to this massive apple tree that's bearing all this amazing fruit. You know what? And there's another greenhouse right at the end of this garden as well. This garden needs a few weekends of hard work. Get your pals over, get them to muck in, tidy it up, table and chairs. Thank you very much.
Shake my tree, where's the apple for me?
In the case of this property, the apple had fallen pretty far from the tree. But with some time and money spent on it, it could prove very fruitful indeed. Absolutely everything needs doing here, inside and out. But with what was a guide price of £20,000, it did have potential as a moneymaker.
If you like a blank canvas and you've got a bit of vision, this could be the project for you. Let's find out who that was when he went under the hammer.
Lot 23 do have a proxy bid on the lot. So I will start the bidding and we will start at 20. So 20 with me. Who wants 25? 25 here, 30 for you, 30, 35, 40 now, 40, 45.
The low guide price attracted plenty of interest. We rejoin with bidding at 94,000.
At 94, he's back in at 94. 95, sir. At £94,000, then away to my right, going once. 95, 96, sir. 96, 97. No, at £96,000 then, going once at 96,000, going twice at 96,000, third and final time at £96,000. We got there, sir. What a great buy that is, and thank you.
And for £96,000, the 3-bed semi was bought by Johanna. Originally a psychologist, Johanna, in recent years, had turned his hand to property developing, using property to help support vulnerable people. Dion met him back at the house to find out more.
Johanna, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've got a project to be getting on with, but why this particular house? Why did you want this one?
Actually, I found the potential in developing this house and renovating it and modernizing it in a way that I can sell it to fund a project which is for vulnerable people. I bought the land from auction, and that land is 0.23 acres, and I want to develop that land to build 12 apartments for people who are vulnerable, vulnerable people, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's very good to hear.
So at that stage, this was a fund-gathering project to enable Johanna to build that supported living development he was hoping to establish in the West Midlands. But in order for that to happen, he needed to get this building back on its feet to start with.
Tell us how this house is going to work. What are you going to do to it?
I'm going to remove this wall or demolish this wall.
So this wall's coming out?
Yeah, it's going to be out to make it like an open plan.
Yes.
And this open plan will have, a modern kitchen and an island in the middle of the kitchen. And at the same time, making a wet room or walk-in shower. Okay. I'm doing it because it helps the people who are disabled. And when they have an open plan, then the people, they can use their wheelchair, they can use their kind of things and go to the wet rooms. So if anyone wants to buy it and found that kind of facilities, they will be encouraged by buying it.
So loads of space when you come through the door, be nice and open plan, and nice and bright and modern. You've got 3 bedrooms upstairs?
Yes.
No bathroom?
No bathroom. I want to do a shower and a bathroom in the main bedroom, which is up here. And the main bedroom, I want to make it like an en-suite room, like with a shower and a toilet at the same time.
What about out the back then? Loads of space out the back. Nice big back garden. Have you got anything planned for the back garden?
Yes, that's what I've been thinking, to make like a sunroom, or like what they call it now, summer house.
Yes.
Which can be in the summer. You can sleep, you can have a shower, you can have a toilet, you can have a TV, to connect it with electric, with everything. Yeah.
Oh, OK, so fully kitted out?
Yeah, exactly. The garden is so big, so huge, and it extends up to the end there. So I should have to utilize the garden and to make the summer house at the same time.
Yeah, use the space better.
Yeah.
So with a £20,000 budget and a 6-month timescale, Johanna had quite a comprehensive refurbishment planned, and we went back 9 months later to check on progress. It was clear progress indeed had been made, but it was nowhere near completion. The removal of the wall in the living room hinted at an open-plan living kitchen area. But there was still no sign of a kitchen or bathroom. It turned out that Johanna had had a change of heart over his plans. He had originally planned to do the house up and sell on, but now he decided to create a 3-bed house of multiple occupancy, or HMO.
So where do we go from here, from here, from here?
We have made the toilet and a shower and a hand wash basin there. We closed the door for the toilet, which was here as well, to open it outside to the garden. 2 showers on the first floor. So they have 3 people living here. They will have, every one of them have got a toilet. Each one of them have got a shower.
For Johanna, it wasn't just about maximising the space, but it was really important to him to maximise the revenue the property could generate.
We have a property somewhere in Birmingham, and we want to do that property. So that project is going to be financed by this project.
And that other project was to provide housing for people who needed supported living accommodation. So he planned to remortgage this house once finished to raise some capital for that project. At this stage, his £20,000 budget was still on track, and so, with his purchase price of £96,000, it looked as if he'd end up with £116,000 invested here. So we asked 2 local estate agents what they thought it might be worth once it was completed.
For resale, I would recommend a price of either £130,000 to £140,000.
Once fully completed, I would look in the region of about £130,000 to £140,000.
Well, that was good news. The investment looked solid and the remortgage value promising. The agents also thought that this 3-bed HMO could generate a total rental return of £750 per calendar month. Johanna was convinced he was moving in the right direction.
Everything is done for good. So I'm happy with what I'm doing.
And you can find out if he remained happy with the project later in the show. Sittingbourne in Kent sits just an hour's commute from both London and Dover. It's perfectly placed for business and leisure. Add to that the investment the local council has been making in the local area, and this is a great place to buy property.
I'm about a mile from the station in this quiet residential area. Very nice, actually. And I'm here to look at a 3-bedroom house, an auction guide price of £150,000. First impressions, it looks to me like it could be an ex-local authority-built house, which would be a good thing because they're always generous with the space and they're always very well built. So, should we go inside and see what we're going to get for our money?
You could be forgiven for thinking this lot looks a bit rubbish. Hopefully, a tidy-up outside would really improve the curb appeal.
A good solid door, good frame, nice and secure. It's obviously got central heating, but surface pipes don't like that. They'd have to go and be buried in the wall. Living room, nice, big, spacious living room with plenty of light, that's important. Structurally very sound, I can't see any problems at all. Nice original detail on the ceiling, the panelling, that's good. Oh, seems to be a bit of a problem with the rubbers in the double glazing. So what you would need to get a specialist in, double glazing firm, to replace the rubbers so you could repair the window, not replace it. And that'd be a good way of doing it, saving money. Yeah, the floorboards are all good. No, this is not so good. This is what we call an egg box door. It has a bit of hardboard or thin plywood both sides, and in the middle of it, it's like an egg box, the shape of the packing. They're very cheap, very light, and they're not very good, so any of these doors need to be replaced throughout the house. And what we've got in here, it looks like, yes, toilet, WC, bathroom, and now we're into the kitchen. Quite spacious, really, for a kitchen. Not so happy with the way it's laid out. But the big question is this salvageable? Yes, maybe. Is it worth it? No, maybe not. So I suppose it depends really on your budget. And what about an extension? Not really worth it. You've got enough space on this ground floor. And if you build out there and you don't do it the right way, then you'll actually sacrifice all the light that we've got in here, because it will be enclosed in a new extension. So I don't think it's necessary. You can save your money and spend it wiser elsewhere.
Is it really worth it? I don't know.
What would be worth doing would be to retile the splashback to replace the imitation mosaic paper. Renewing the worktops would modernise things here too. The unit carcasses might be salvageable and you could change the doors and handles. What's a necessity, though, would be getting the boiler checked by a gas-safe engineer to make sure it's functioning properly. Outside, the generous proportions continue, with a rear garden that's bordering on 80 feet long. Ample space to build a hard standing for parking, with tons of space to spare.
It's quite a steep staircase, that, but I like the window over the landing and the stairs. It makes all this lovely and light. And we have, this is obviously the master bedroom, very large bedroom, nice size. And the other two bedrooms, they're a nice size as well. And structurally, it's very sound. It needs very little done up here. Just a good clean down and good decoration, really. I certainly wouldn't change the floor layout here to fit a bathroom up here and lose one of the bedrooms. No, because where the bathroom is downstairs is perfect. So, no need to change that. Save a nice few quid.
Well, if you could put your hands on enough money to buy this 3-bed terrace at the right price, this could be a great little purchase. But what did a local estate agent think?
My first impressions of the property is that it is solid. There is potential just to increase the value by putting a new kitchen, a new bathroom, painting throughout, new carpets. Parking is limited on this particular street. However, with a driveway, it will increase the value of the property.
Parking is a quick way to add some value. But are there any other ways you could do that with this property?
Potentially, the loft area could be really well used. Making a loft conversion and having the potential to put a bathroom in there would be, I think, a better investment than potentially extending to the back of the property.
That's a great idea. But what kind of value could it add on to the sales price?
Once the property is brought up to a very good standard, properties achieving in this area currently £230,000 to £240,000. The current owners have a potential to increase the value by putting a loft conversion on, and that would take the value up to £270,000. But that would probably be the highest in the street or in the area at the moment. But it's still very, very achievable because the market is still on the increase.
I think this is a cracking little house. Structurally very sound, no issues at all. Just a makeover in the kitchen and the bathroom and a revamp through. Bit of a light hand, a light touch. Front and back gardens, tidy them up, and you'll end up with a wonderful property. Let's see who else agreed with me when it went under the hammer.
This lot was sold at a remote property auction with online bids only, so we didn't capture any of the bidding action on the day.
Done. Sold to the internet.
But the highest bid of £176,000 for the Sittingbourne 3-bed mid-terrace came from Abbas. He's originally from Azerbaijan and is a foreign currency trader.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes
And Tommy caught up with him to find out why he spent his own currency on this house.
Well, hello, Abbas. It's very nice to meet you.
Hello. Hello, Tommy.
Congratulations on your purchase. This is a cracking little property you've bought.
Thank you very much.
Are you happy with it?
Yes, absolutely. I'm happy with the house. It's very nice. It's a very comfortable house.
And there's a couple of homes under the hammer golden rules. I wondered whether you complied. That was to look at the property before you bought it. Mm-hmm. Did you do that?
No, we didn't.
No. And of course, did you read the legal pack?
I just take a look at the legal packs. My solicitors then checked everything after the purchase.
Right, after the purchase.
After the purchase.
Right.
I just sometimes like to check if my luck is working.
Well, it's Abbas's lucky day because he seems to have made a solid purchase. But then again, for Moneyman Abbas, it's all about the number crunching. So was it a decision of the head or of the heart?
I was inspired with property business from my childhood, I would say. And because I always like to create something, right? And this property business is, I think, that kind of job where you create something.
And what are the main parts that you're going to do? What do you plan?
We will make the painting, obviously. We will change the floors, we will change the kitchen, and we will, of course, make some change to the rear garden. But we will go for small changes, but we will make this house very beautiful and very comfortable to live.
And who's going to do the work?
I have a very good friend of mine who lives nearby. He's a builder, and I think it will be in his comfortable zone where he can do the work. They have good experience, and they gave us a very good price, I would say.
So have you got a budget for the refurb?
We calculated that we will spend approximately between 12 and 15,000 pounds for the refurbishment.
And I need to ask you how long you propose to take to get this ready for the market.
We plan to finish this job during a month.
Wow.
Yeah, but we always give a chance of plus minus 10% of this time scale.
Well, that's good, yeah. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room, as we say.
Yeah.
Abbas might be a first-timer, but he has reinforcements in the form of his business partner, Vugar. And provided the market is favourable, they'd like to sell this one on after they've done the renovation work.
My business partner, with whom I'm working on this project, he is also from Azerbaijan, and he has a very good family background in this business. Yeah, so we together had this, I would say, motivation and for this kind of job in the UK. So we decided to start with
what we say, a good fit.
Good fit, exactly.
And is this going to be the first of many?
Yes, this will be our first step of our experience, and that's why we started with a property which doesn't need much work.
Right. Well, yeah, as you gain experience and confidence, you'll be able to go on to bigger and better things.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Well, I look forward to seeing how this comes out, and I look forward to seeing you progress as a newcomer to the property business.
I hope so.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there may not be an abundance of work to do on this project, but I do think a month is a tad ambitious for Abbas's debut project. I'm sure he'll contain the budget because of his financial background, but will his luck hold out? Join us later on in the show and you can find out.
Coming up, Martel sees a house which might not put too much strain on the budget.
Came with a guide price of just £10,000. Got to be worth a look.
Back in Kent, there's relief at how this refurb went.
They managed it so that I didn't feel any pressure on me.
Time now to head back to Walsall, where in 2018, Dion saw a 3-bed semi with a guide price of £20,000. The outside looked promising, but inside it seemed to offer little more than a pile of bricks and mortar, without so much as a bathroom or a kitchen.
They've done you a favour having nothing in here at all. When I mean nothing, there's nothing.
The house was uninhabitable, meaning that getting a mortgage on this property wouldn't be easy. And the whole house really needed the full overhaul from top to bottom. that didn't deter Johanna, who bought the house for £96,000. And he had a very specific purpose in mind for his latest property purchase.
Why this particular house? Why did you want this one?
Actually, I found a potential in developing this house and renovating it and modernizing it in a way that I can sell it to fund a project which is for vulnerable people.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's very good to hear.
So the plan was to remortgage the house once completed, freeing up the capital to be used on building his supported living project that was elsewhere in the West Midlands. When we returned 9 months later, work had taken place, but it was nowhere near completion, and Johanna had changed his plans. He was now going to turn the property into a 3-bed house of multiple occupancy, or HMO, to rent out to local health professionals. At that stage, Johanna had only spent £8,000 of his £20,000 budget. And he estimated he would need another 3 months to complete the work. Well, we now return a year later to see the end results.
Everything changes but you. We're 1,000 miles apart. You know I love you. Everything changes but you. You know every single day I'll be thinking about you.
So the deadline changed, but so has everything else. The former 3-bed semi is now an HMO with 3 bedrooms, 2 of which have en-suites. The smaller room, without its own facilities, has private access to a WC and this state-of-the-art shower on the ground floor, which features funky lighting operated by digital technology.
Everything changes but you.
And in true Johanna fashion, that's not all that has changed.
In the beginning, it was the plan to make it for HMO, particularly for the locum doctors. But now the plan has been changed to make it for support living, because we have got a charity organization who want to rent the property as a support of living.
And the changes continue out back with well-thought-out features to help the residents get the most out of everything the garden has to offer.
I'm here for you. Yeah, I'm here for you. You.
And there will be a trio of residents who will live here as a small community, living independently but with support.
I'm here for you.
I want to create a kind of activities for the support living people who live in here. They live in a nice environment which is helping them.
This isn't just about the design within the house, it's about the creative ideas outside too.
There's a beach bar that I designed it, I draw it. And with myself, the one who is working with me, one of the team worker, we built it together. And it is made out of a pallet, a used pallet, a scrap pallet.
Well, I'm all for recycling materials, but despite getting stuck in himself, the work on the property has taken a whole 2 years because Johanna was determined to wait for his tried and tested building team to become available. But despite the delays, Johanna has managed to stick to that £20,000 budget, so that's good news, as it gives him more leeway when planning future projects to provide more supported living accommodation elsewhere.
The legacy which I want to leave behind is that to support people who in need for support. And I'm not looking for, for wealth and money. I'm looking to help the community to live in a healthy and and wealthy spiritually and wealthy life.
Well, it might not be about the money for Johanna, but having spent £116,000 on the property in total, he does plan to remortgage this house to fund another project. So what did a local estate agent make of the renovated HMO?
My first impression of the property is the owner has utilised all the space very well. They've added bathrooms and they've added en suites. They've also added space downstairs, which works well. For what the vendor's intentions are to rent the property out, I think that he's designed it and also decorated it to the standard that it needs to be.
Though obviously a rental project, for Johanna, the remortgage value of his £116,000 investment is important too.
If I was to place this property on the market, I'd be looking to achieve about £130,000 to £135,000.
So if he were to sell it on, there could be a £14,000 to £19,000 pre-tax profit to be had. The agent also thought the value of the property could rise to £150,000 if bought with sitting tenants, which would boost the profit by a further £15,000. Johanna has already let the property to an organisation providing supported living. But what's the going rate for an HMO room in the local area?
As a HMO, the 2 bedrooms of the ensuite, I'll be looking to achieve about £500 per calendar month. The bedroom without the ensuite, you'll be looking at about £400 per calendar month.
So in total, that would be a monthly income for the 3-bedroomed HMO of £1,400 per calendar month. So what does Johanna make of that?
I'm happy for the estate agent to say that HMO is going to be getting for me £1,400 per month.
That monthly income total could bring Johanna an excellent yield of almost 14.5%, which would fund the payments on the house if he does remortgage as planned. So as a financial vehicle, all is looking good in terms of this property purchase. But over 2 years on, how does Johanna reflect on this challenging project?
Difficulties and obstacles in life is something normal. But the thing which will make all the difficult and to defeat all difficulties in life is the determination and believing in what you are doing. Putting a plan, believing in your plan, consistently and insistently go on your plan will make you success, and at the same time, these all obstacles, it will gonna be a history only.
Yes, Johanna certainly seems to be one of those people for whom there are no such things as problems, only solutions. The rugged North Sea coastline and windswept beaches of Seaham in County Durham. And the property Martel's off to see has all this on its doorstep. It's located just 5 miles inland and west in the village of Horton-le-Spring in Tyne and Wear.
When coming to view a property, it's always really nice to see some open space with grass and trees, not just as an amenity if you want to live here, but if you're looking to sell or rent on. Now, here's our property. It's a 2-bed semi-detached, which came with a guide price of just £10,000. Got to be worth a look. Into a small vestibule area, your stairs taking you to the bedrooms, and then a reception room, which is a really good size. Yes, it needs an upgrade, new flooring, a lick of paint. You've got old-fashioned heating, you want to take that out, but you also have some central heating installed. You always want to get it checked over though. And then you have a big window, and that's important because of what you can see outside. There's a lot of condensation here. It's only single glazed, so you'd actually want to upgrade to double glazing if your budget allowed. But that size I love because you're looking onto the grassy area, and in an area where there's lots of houses which are quite similar, something like that, that view, that feeling can really make your place stand out. Through to the kitchen area, and there's so much potential here. You've also got a side door as well as your front door. Yes, the units need replaced, it needs freshened up. I'd think about extending right along the wall so you could get your fridge, your dishwasher, your washing machine, everything you need in. You've got a boarded up window which needs to be seen to. But then there's a separate area which I love. Even if you did extend your kitchen along the wall, there'd still be plenty of room to have a table and make things feel really sociable. Yes, it needs modernisation, but in terms of layout, this really works.
To the rear of the property, you have an ample-sized back garden, which is in need of a good green-fingered touch. But is there room to add an extension? You would have to do your sums to see if going to that effort could bring good returns.
Up the stairs, which are nice and wide, to a toilet. Just a toilet, not even a basin. A wall separates the bathroom area. You could think about knocking through and into a bedroom, which is very stripy, needs an upgrade, a refresh, and you're overlooking gardens and more green space, which I really like. There's a real sense of openness. And you have a really nice view out front and a really nice view out back. What's not to like? Now we're talking. For quite a modest house, this is a terrific master bedroom and it's flooded with light on a sunny day like today. Yes, it needs some TLC, but you could make it really special. You've even got some storage space, which is super. Put whatever you want in there. And as I'm looking around, I'm struggling to find anything too seriously wrong with this house. And when you consider that guide price of £10,000, get it anywhere close to that, you'd be happy. The hatch for the loft is missing here, and as I look up, it's a sizable space, but I can see the chink in the armour to this property potentially, and it's actually a chink of daylight coming through the roof. So that needs seen to, it needs repaired, and as we all know, roof repairs can be costly.
So, a lot of work to do, but remember the guide price was just £10,000. Yes, £10,000. Of course, the low price draws in the bidders, but it is usually fast superseded in the auction room. Let's now hear from a local estate agent to find out where he would start with this property.
Well, the first thing to look at is the windows could need updating, and also it's got an old back boiler on the fire in the lounge. So again, they do work, but they're not very efficient. So maybe a modern combi boiler to provide instant hot water would be a good idea. In addition, it's still got the original separate WC, and that would lend itself beautifully into being knocked through into the bathroom to create a much larger family bathroom, probably have space for both a bath and a shower. 2 bedrooms are great sizes. Don't see there's a lot of potential to split them into 3, so you're probably better off leaving it as 2 double bedrooms.
The agent didn't believe extending to the back would be worth doing here, as the local ceiling price means you wouldn't get back the returns. So keeping it as is, what might this house that had that come-and-get-me guide price of £10,000 be worth once done up?
I think once renovated, the property should be looking to achieve somewhere in the region of £60,000.
Not too bad, but what if you were looking to let it out?
On the rental market's quite strong at the moment. And if it was a 2 double-bedroomed property, we would be aiming to achieve £500 per calendar month.
This is a pretty straightforward refurb for whoever takes it on, so long as you set some money aside for those roof repairs. It feels like a solid house, and I love the setting with that grassy area outside. And all for a guide price of just £10,000. I bet it was pretty popular at auction. Let's find out who snapped it up.
This lot was sold at a remote property auction with online bids only, so we didn't capture any of the bidding action on the day.
Thank you very much.
The virtual hammer came crashing down on £41,000, and it was Michael who made the successful click of the mouse. You may recognise him, as last year on the show we saw how he'd refurbished a 3-bedroom property in South Yorkshire. Martel met Michael back at this property for a catch-up.
Michael, pleased to meet you. It's not too long ago we saw you with Dion when you were buying property in Yorkshire, and now we're in Tyne and Wear. So you're getting about the country?
Yes, I mean, the northeast is my hub, whether it be northwest, northeast, or Yorkshire. If there's a deal, I'm there to get it.
So why this house? Why this semi-detached in particular?
I think this kind of house meets the profile of what I tend to look for. You know, the fact that it does have a garden, it's semi-detached, and it has good space within it, and it's in a decent location, and ultimately the price was right.
Yeah, the £41,000 that you paid, again, sounds like good value, as you say, and it seems pretty strong. Structurally, it seems good, but you do have a bit of daylight coming through from the loft, and a couple of slates are missing from the roof. Have you looked into that?
Yes, I mean, these type of things come along with these type of properties. This is not the worst that I've seen. You should look around the house itself. You don't have a lot of damp or a lot of watermarks coming down, which tells you that whatever is happening on the roof, it's minor tiles that needs to be adjusted. And having worked with my own team with on everything, including roofing, half of the times you probably need about 3 or 4 tiles and and a few pointing and cement up on the roofs to realign things to actually address those issues. So I think if you have the right team and you know what you're doing, you should not be scared off by a lot of the things that you see at the auction.
It's very clear Michael is a man with big plans. He'll use his own staff tradespeople to do the work and get this one ready to add to his rental portfolio.
I think what we're going to do here is try to strip it all out. What I always try to do with properties like this is try to see what you can salvage. The objective is never to always strip everything out and put it into the skip. If there is anything we can retain, we will look at that. But ultimately, it's about really kind of just giving it a good, nice decor. We change the fixtures for the lighting. We will kind of probably put a new bathroom as well and a new kitchen. So those are the kind of things we're looking to do with this to kind of retain it and give it a comfortable family feel to it.
Okay, flooring?
Flooring, yeah, all new flooring. We'll probably put a bit of laminate on the ground floor and then we'll do carpets on the stairs and upstairs.
Nice. You getting rid of the textures on the ceilings?
The textures on the ceilings, I think some people around here might actually like them. So I think what we're going to do is we'll retain those. I think if it's not broken, if it's not too tacky, there are ways that you can do with your overall decor to just kind of make it a bit more contemporary. But otherwise, they are not. Then I think it's a case of preference.
What is your budget here?
Okay, the budget for this property, we are looking at spending about £12,000 here and thereabout. We will spend most of our money around the heating system. We will have to replace the old boiler, which is a back boiler, which is in this property.
What about the windows? They're single glazed just now. Would you consider upgrading to double?
I think what we are looking to do is that wherever we have single glaze, we'll always look at upgrading them to double glaze to get that energy efficiency.
Very best of luck. I can't wait to see what you do here. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
Michael has a tried and tested plan, and I've no doubt he'll get this place into shipshape in no time at all. What's exciting here is this is the kind of house that in the right hands could be transformed into a lovely home. You can find out how Michael gets on later in the show.
Well, when you take on a property renovation, it can seem pretty daunting at first.
But it's an exciting time too, and hopefully you're making lots of decisions that will maximise your return.
Yes, we've seen the result of one of our properties, but were the right decisions made on the other two? Let's find out.
Back now to Sittingbourne in Kent, where Tommy saw a 3-bed terrace that, in terms of its layout at least, seemed to really float his boat.
I just love the way you are.
I certainly wouldn't change the floor layout here to fit a bathroom up here and lose one of the bedrooms. No, because where the bathroom is downstairs is perfect. So, no need to change that.
I just love the way you are.
Well, if the layout was right for the house, the same couldn't be said for its cosmetic condition, and it was going to require a thorough refurb. It was bought in an online auction for £176,000 by foreign currency trader Abbas as a joint venture with his business partner Vugar. This was something he'd been wanting to do for years.
I was inspired with property business from my childhood, I would say. And because I always like to create something, right? And this property business is, I think, that kind of job where you create something.
But as a money man, Abbas wasn't just looking to create a much improved house, he also wanted to create a decent return. To that end, he was looking at a £12,000 to £15,000 budget and hoped a builder friend could turn this house around, ready to sell on in just 1 month. Now 2 months have ticked by and we're back. What a difference a couple of months make. Yes, the layout remains the same, but everything else has been upgraded. At the end of the garden, he has created something in the form of off-road parking. That's a great idea. So is Abbas pleased with the end result?
My friend Ruslan and his team did this fabulous work here, and they managed it so that I didn't feel any pressure on me.
And when you're in a busy, full-on, full-time job, and this was Abbas's first property project, so having a builder he knew and could trust was a great help. But it didn't mean Abbas was completely hands-off.
My full-time job is a sedentary job. Doing that kind of physical work and coming to the property, visiting the property and helping to the builders when they need that is actually what's good for me because it brings some physical activity to my life as well.
So, a stress reliever and a workout. It seems Abbas has really enjoyed this experience, and it looks like his first property experience won't be his last.
I think that sometimes checking if your luck is working in doing some business can be a very good sign to continue that business or not. And I think that my luck works very good.
Uh-oh, but when it comes to money, I'm sure he didn't just leave it to luck. I bet that £15,000 budget was carefully monitored.
Unfortunately, we didn't exceed our limit. We spent approximately £40,731.
Well, that's pretty precise. But to help with the sums, let's just call that £15,000, shall we? And on top of a £176,000 purchase price, with my maths, that's £191,000. So, money well spent? What does the estate agent who saw it last time think?
I think it's amazing. It's a really bright house, and the basic colours that have been used, not like just white and cream, but the greys in, it's been really good. I think for the investment that's been put in, I think they've achieved a really great job. The flooring's really nice, the carpets all the way through, the bathroom, so they've kept all the basic things in the basic places, but just enhanced them, which is very clever.
OK, positive feedback. But will the balance sheet see a positive on it? How well will Abbas and his business partner Vugar's £191,000 investment do on the resale market?
We'd market this property at £260,000, and I think we'd get a buyer fairly quickly.
I think that's a very good price because it comes approximately 30% of profit margin, which is a decent profit, I think.
Don't you mean a 36.2% profit, Abbas? Or to put it another way, a potential pre-tax profit of £69,000. The agent also thought a rental figure of £1,000 per month should be possible, which equates to a yield above 6%. So what's the next step for Abbas?
We have already taken our next step before even selling this property. We already started the second project, and I think that this is baby steps for long journey.
And with this house, Abbas has definitely got off to a good start. And who knows where his property venture might take him. It was in the Tyne and Wear town of Horton-le-Spring where we first came across a two-bed end-of-terrace property. Well, yes, it was in need of a good refurb, and a rewire and a replumb wouldn't go amiss, but it had pretty well-proportioned rooms, a reasonable garden space, an upstairs bathroom and toilet that perhaps would benefit from being knocked into one, and two decent bedrooms. But just when things seemed they were looking up,
I can see the chink in the armour to this property potentially, and it's actually a chink of daylight coming through the roof. So that needs seen to, it needs repaired. And as we all know, roof repairs can be costly.
So it was clear that this was the first job to be tackled.
Can you see the light? Can you see the lights in us?
And the man who thought he could make light of the refurbishment work and make the house watertight, modern and ready for the rental market was property developer Michael, who bought the house for £41,000.
I think what we're going to do here is try to strip it all out. What I always try to do with properties like this is try to see what you can salvage. The objective is never to always strip everything out and put it into the skip. If there is anything we can retain, we will look at that. But ultimately, it's about really kind of just giving it a good, nice decor. We change the fixtures for the lighting. We will kind of probably put a new bathroom as well and a new kitchen. So those are the kind of things we're looking to do with this to kind of retain it and give it that comfortable family feel to it.
And to get that comfortable family feel, Michael had a budget of £12,000 and hoped his building team could turn this around in just 3 weeks. Well, now 4 months on and we're back to catch up on the story. I like you very much. Michael and his trades team have created a modern little haven here. He's used one of his stock kitchens to replace the old one that was here originally. He's even added appliances so the house is ready to move into. And for Michael, it's all about adding those little touches.
I think it's something that we do right across the portfolio that we manage. I think we try to find ways to just kind of add a little bit more of a decorative element to a house which you're trying to let out. So we tend to have a very neutral palette, but in terms of the lighting fixtures, it's something that we feel is that we can simply add and just add a bit more for wow factor to a standard plain room.
So it's a case of bringing in some bling where needed, but not doing jobs that don't really add cosmetic or financial value. To that end, he's retained the separate toilet and bathroom upstairs, but he's put in a new suite. Of course, there was one area that didn't so much require a makeover. It needed to be fixed, and that was the roof.
The roof, we more or less had to, address the issue of the small gap that was visible from the loft hatch. Some of these things are very common in houses of this nature, so hence I wasn't too concerned when we looked at this house, because ultimately it's just sending a workman up on the roof and replacing a tile or maybe just making some minor adjustments, and it wasn't really a significant item on the refurb schedule. It was something that was done within a very short space of time.
Phew, that was a relief. Thank goodness the roof wasn't a whole lot worse. However, the central heating system was a whole different ballgame.
With the central heating system, as you might have noticed last time, you had a back boiler. So that's an old heating system. So we had to strip that out and install a new boiler for this particular house. We retained some of the radiator and the heating pipework, which was already in place. It was in good condition. But otherwise, we had to install a new boiler to meet the current required regulation and standards that we also want to maintain across the portfolios.
Another way Michael also made the house more energy efficient was to install new double-glazed windows throughout. Getting hold of all the right windows and then installing them was one of the reasons there was a small delay on the project. But did it affect his budget limit of £12,000?
We are slightly just over by a few £100, which is not a significant amount, as we always factored that in our contingency planning. But ultimately, we are happy with that. We brought it in at the ballpark figure that we were expecting to do the refurb on.
In addition to the £12,000 spend, Michael also had to pay auction fees totalling nearly £1,500. That means that along with his £41,000 purchase price, he's invested £54,500 into his latest rental vehicle. So what does the agent who saw it last time make of the work that's been carried out on the house?
I think the changes are quite remarkable. It's interesting to see the work that's been done to the property, both structurally and cosmetically, and I'm pleased to see that both have worked out well. I think a lot of thought has gone into the design in terms of the standard of finish. I'm particularly pleased to see that the windows are all brand new. I think it has a huge impact on the way the house looks. And then the style of the kitchen and the bathroom as well is clever because it's neutral, and I think it would appeal to most people.
So the estate agent likes it. This might be a rental vehicle for Michael, but how much value has he added to his £54,500 investment?
I think if this property was offered to the open market, it should be placed with a price of between £60,000 and £65,000.
Which, if he chose to sell, could net a pre-tax profit of between £5,500 and £10,500. But Michael has always intended this to be a rental. So what does the agent think the monthly figure could be?
I think if the property was offered to the rental market, a rent of between £500 and £550 per calendar month should be considered.
We already have a number of applications for this particular house at about £550, which is the top end of that rental figure, which is in line with our expectations.
That figure of £550 per calendar month will see Michael and his company make a 12% yield. But the big question is, what keeps him motivated?
The wider vision that we have in terms of making an impact through property. Ultimately, as you turn these type of houses and make them living spaces for people, you're actually making a certain level of social impact, and as well as being a responsible landlord who's able to provide a quality product into the marketplace, you're filling a gap and actually addressing a real need.
Do you feel inspired by the people and properties on today's show?
Maybe you're thinking about heading down to the auction rooms yourself, or alternatively just sitting and watching with a cuppa in hand.
Whatever blows your hair back. But join us next time for lots of auction action here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.